Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Brahma Mir Striparam Takare. Banu Shashi Bamisita. Buddha Sha Guru Sha Shukra. Shani Rahu Keteva. Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om Om Hrim Gurave Namaha. Om Hrim Shukraya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Kev 100. This is your weekly video zine of astrology where we take the signs of the zodiac, the houses, the planets, where they are, and relate them in accordance with your sun sign, rising sign, moon sign. Of course, rising sign is most important than the moon sign. And then I also talk a little bit about Vedic astrology, what we see currently in the sky. And if you're, I encourage you to subscribe, share, and DM me if you want to get a personal reading. I'm pretty reasonable compared to a lot of other astrologers out there, and I've got 43 years of experience under my belt now. That's crazy. Okay, well, we are going to go talk about the moon and its position in sidereal Vedic astrology first, which is in the constellation of Sagittarius for Friday, April 18th. This goes from Friday, April 18th through the 25th of April. And so we see it in a lunar mansion known as Mula. Now, this is actually where the heart of the Milky Way galaxy is, and it's said in Vedic lore, this is where all the secrets of the universe are kept. And there is like an actual astronomical black hole in this part of the sky. It's ruled by Naritri. She's said to be the goddess of calamity, but she's also a major healer that has roots of every kind. Mula literally means root, and Mula is ruled by Ketu, which is the south node of the moon. The south node of the moon has our collective consciousness of 14 generations and beyond. It is our intuition. It's our gut feeling, and it doesn't always make common sense. In fact, when the United States was under Ketu Dasha back between 1966 and 1974, it was said to inspire the hippie movement and the discovery of multiple religions and philosophies, and so there's evidence in that. And it's interesting that since 2017, right now in the United States, we're in Rahu Dasha, the North Node, which is sort of like the ambition, but it doesn't necessarily have a grounding or a gut feeling to it. And so there's a little bit of what I'd call unrootedness or rootlessness, and some people would say it's ruthless, and I mean, there's a lot of ways these things can go. Anyhow, in Western astrology, we're starting as of 7:12 a.m. Moon will be in Capricorn. Sun's in Aries for Friday, but at 12:31 in the afternoon on the 19th, Saturday, the sun goes into the seasonal sign of Taurus. So otherwise still in the constellation of Aries, but that's so Taurus season. So happy birthday to all my Taurus friends out there. I'll say happy birthday to DNA because it's his birthday on Saturday, and then also Friday is a great astrologer from Portland that passed away about 15 years ago, Stephen Spirit. So much love to Stephen. He's definitely out in the spirit world right now. And happy birthday to Cooper Kehoe, who is, I think he's turning. It just makes no sense. I think he's 36 now. Man, time is going on. People that were babies are like older than young adults anymore. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? Okay, so greetings Aries, welcome your horoscope. I mean, I think here's one thing that's really significant is that, Neptune has moved into Aries. And so I really think, in terms of like the more recent monotheistic religion of Islam, the jihad. And on a more high spiritual level, the jihad is a war against the evil within our own souls. And so being to purify our own souls is that's probably something that can't be done necessarily. It requires atonement, and I think when we are, because we're in Holy Week, this is Passover, this is Easter in both Orthodox and plain old, Catholic and Protestant tradition, and it's there's like a quote of Jesus. It was, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me shall, although he dies, he shall live." And so it is a time where we activate soul purpose over material. Even though material world's looking good in spring in the northern hemisphere, we're getting all these flowers and all this new growth and warmer weather and longer days. It's definitely a day to celebrate. It's a time to celebrate, but we're also in a place where we're having to look at what goes beyond the material, so we're not just blinded by the wealth in front of us. And the other thing is, it's Earth Week. Earth Day is on Tuesday. It's on a Mars Day. Mars is actually Lord of the Earth. So it's a really powerful Earth Day. I know there's going to be like an opposition, I think, with I don't know, or there's some aspect with Uranus that day. So I have a feeling there's going to be some kind of action that day. But anyhow, Aries, welcome to your horoscope. And this is what I get with this Neptune in Aries right now, is not only making peace with the inner war, but it's like explore your faith in a new way. Even if it's the same faith, try and take a new approach to it. Try and have a freshness, have that baby-like approach to this solar new year that you're going through. And it's like economic concerns will be a little more important now as the sun moves through your second house. And but Mercury and Neptune, it's like, having godly things on your mind is a good thing. Okay, so greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. Still have Uranus in the first house. Sun's moving in Saturday afternoon into your first house. So it's like, I'll just say, like, the worst is over. The things of loss, you're gaining. And plus, you get to be the flavor of the month. I mean, a lot of people like that. I want to give a birthday shout out to my friend Dana Kruger, who's having a birthday, turning 55. And I just want to say, Dana, 55 saves lives. Remember that. Slogan from the 70s, for those of you who are old enough to remember that. They made everyone drive slower, hopefully to save gas. It actually did save lives, though, because people were not driving as fast, and consequently there were less fatalities. There's still a lot of kind of karma you're wrapping up from your last solar year, Taurus. And so it's kind of like, I wouldn't go out too boldly. It's sort of like, just kind of watch your back and take things slow, take things easy. The wealth is there for you. You got Jupiter in the second house. You're still doing good in those terms. The weekend looks really nice for you because the moon's going to be in Capricorn most of the weekend. A great time to take a trip, take an adventure. You're going to do well. Okay, so greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. So now that we're going into Taurus season, that means the sun's going to be in your 12th house, and the 12th house can be the house of loss. It's actually a good time to travel, especially to wilderness areas, spiritual retreats, fasting, being alone. It's a Dustana house. And sometimes things come up that we can't see, and it can be kind of harsh, but it's that cleanup time. Just like this moon that we have on Friday. Mula, she just likes to clean things up, really. Even though she's goddess of calamity, she actually ends up giving people wealth, and great spiritual wisdom, because that's what Sagittarius and K2 do. They give you incredible spiritual wisdom. So we can look at it from that angle. I mean, as far as right now, K2 is in Virgo. And in that sense, service to others makes good karma. And if you took it on that level, you're going to find yourself in an immense amount of help. Since Mercury is in Aries with Neptune, I think just good time for spiritual gatherings, and enjoy that, Gemini. Okay, greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. So this is kind of a romantic weekend with the moon in your 7th house most of the weekend. And so peacemaking, diplomacy, take it easy. You know, when you give up resentment and you open yourself up to kindness, it's amazing the kind of alchemical energy shift in any kind of relationship that'll take place. You got a lot of responsibility, you know, because most of the planets are up here, and this is the public area of a horoscope. And you have some really good ideas at work, dealing with those aesthetics. And some people may not be always above board and honest in your workplace, and you kind of have to be aware of that right now. And I had a thing like that happen in my workplace, and interestingly enough, there's some influence there to look at. You know, one of the other things is, you know, just being kind with your words. There's things get out of control when Mars is transiting your 2nd house, and it's opposing Pluto right now in the 8th. So, I mean, your intuition is on, you know, keep it on that spiritual positive end. And if you got some tools or weapons to sell, that'll probably go well. Greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so now it's like you got your mojo working. I mean, in the Western astrology sense, because Sun gets exalted in Aries. And Aries rules your 9th house. 9th house is good fortune. It's considered the luckiest house. It's also considered the house of the father, the house of our teachers, the house of foreign travel, exotic cultures, and just being open to new things. That openness to newness, it inspires more life, and it's going to make things go all that much more better with ease. A lot of career focus right now as the sun's moving through Taurus. Most Leo risings have Taurus midheaven, and that's like the beautifier, and it's like, how can I make things just more pleasant? How can I make things better to be with, and just kind of watch your health over the weekend with the moon going through your 6th house. And it's also a good weekend to do service work and help others. Okay. Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. Yeah, I mean, pay attention to those gut feelings, Virgo. Pay attention to those instincts, because, you know, if I was to take this and go like that, South Node K2, there she be. And we want to consider what you're sensing. Now, we're moving to a place where all these grahas, planets, whatever you want to call them, are in your partnership sign. And so your negotiations, your dealings with other people have a lot of energy. And there's a lot of space around your personal zone. Now, Mars in the 12th house is like, well, there's somebody who doesn't like you, maybe they don't have your back, you know, you have to kind of watch your back. I mean, I think pray for protection every day. And I wouldn't say it's so much to look behind you or be suspicious. It's also like dance more, pray more, you know, be like a prayer warrior. And, you know, sometimes I'll do the Orthodox Jesus prayer, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And it's amazing. That actually helps. Because when we admit our non-perfect parts, and, you know, sin is an archery term, missing the mark. Very few of us hit the target the first time, or even with a lot of effort. So, yeah, just humble yourself. You're good at that, Virgo. We'll just keep moving it on. And, you know, I see a lot of love in your life, actually. I see things in that way going good.
Doing that.
Greetings, Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. I actually have the love of my life here while I'm recording this today, so I don't know how this happened. It's just like God has so much mercy, so much blessing, so much grace that this godly woman, Anna, came into my life. You know, and we've had to kind of lead ourselves back to God, because we're hedonistic, pleasure-seeking people.
Not I. No, I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, of course.
I like chocolate, though.
We're humans. You know what? We're humans. Humans do human things. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, like Virgo, you know, this is like partnership time for you, and you're focusing more on your relationships and those type of things. Taurus, it's another Venus ruled sign, but it's different than Libra in that it's more stable. And are you calling me unstable? I'm so balanced. It's like, when you're constantly seeking balance, you can never be stable. Stability is more about acceptance, but balance is about being able to negotiate and make room for other people. You're a lot less stubborn than Taurus, so that's where you have an advantage in the Venetian world. But the sun's moving in your 8th house, and 8th house is more like other people's power and how they have control of certain areas of your life. Now we look at Venus. Venus is still in the late degrees of Pisces in Western astrology, and it's in Pisces in Vedic astrology too. This is a place though where art, beauty, love, sacrifice, agape love where you're not expecting anything in return, gets magnified. And this kind of love, when you're helping people that can't help you and you're not getting something from it, it's feeding your inner radiance on such a way and such a level that nothing can touch you. And I think like your health is improving. So many things are getting better on a lot of different levels, and just relax with that. Well, greetings Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. So we've got Uranus in the sun moving through your 7th house. So relationships are key right now, and you want to negotiate in the best way. And sometimes the 7th house has a lot to do with career because it's 10 houses away from the 10th house. And this is the old world astrology, but it still applies from what I've observed. And your intuition's on. A lot of people are wanting to help you, and I think one of the things to be important, Scorpio, is just accept the help. Just say, hey, this is good. I'm going to accept it. Some people want to help me. Great. I'm going to take it, because it's going to make everything a lot easier. And so that's another bonus point for Scorpio this week. Mars and Leo, it's just like career. If you're in a career, you're finishing off some kind of career, just bring your best self forward. Make your best efforts to improve things and to show that you have consistent, kind, heartfelt leadership. That's the best way to do Mars and Leo in the 10th house, I think. Okay, so, and then, you've got to keep your home life in check with Pluto in the 4th, opposing Mars this week. And here we are with Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Jupiter's in the 7th house. So once again, it's about love. It's about relationship. It's about being in that place of giving. And you're kind of an independent person. Most of you are like sidereal Scorpios. So there is this sort of Mars-like quality. Sometimes there's a quality of suspicion and not sureness, because ultimately a lot of the laughter and the bravado is just covering up for serious sensitivity. And you can make some money this weekend with the moon going through your 2nd house. And you're always up for an adventure. And I think with Pluto in the 3rd house and then Mars in the 9th house, those are good travel houses. So, I think you could go on a really good adventure. Go on an adventure with a partner, it'll be even more fun. I think with Taurus season, though, allergies going up and different kind of shift to longer days and weather, you kind of have to avoid burnout. You really need to take care of your health a little more. This is not the time to drink. This is not the time to kind of like party out. It's just more like the time to take it all in, relax, appreciate and relax. Well, greetings Capricorn, welcome to your horoscope. This weekend was made for you, and with the sun going into an earth sign, Taurus, your 5th house, I expect there to be joy. I mean, we don't usually think of Capricorn as joyful sign. It was like serious, serious work, serious stuff, accomplishing things, the nuts and bolts of life. But there's a real intelligence. See, Saturn accounts for everything. It's kind of more of an overview planet. And this is why so many Capricorns and Aquarians are such brilliant people, really, is because they've taken their time to consider stuff that's out of maybe the normal realm of appreciation. And that's important. I really appreciate other people for bringing that up. I think, though, where it gets bad is if we get like super caught up in victimization and don't work on ways that are practical ways to elevate everyone at the same time, how everyone can do better. And so that's what I'm expecting from you. Now, it's a more introspective time, even though it's spring. Look at all these planets, they're all on the bottom part of the chart. And, but like if you have children, this is a time to pay attention to your children and, and just be aware that it's easy to be kind of angry at other people's stuff while Mars is transiting your 8th house. So just keep that chill and everything will go out fine. Well, greetings, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. So here we are with Pluto in Aquarius. I have one friend. Hi, Susan. She was always like, "Oh, Pluto in Aquarius is going to just change everything." I'm like, I hope you're right, Susan. I mean, I look at Aquarius as a Saturn ruled sign primarily, and there is Uranus, but Uranus can be like a wrecking ball sometimes. It can bring incredible amounts of shockwaves, destruction, kind of like the Tower card in the Tarot. But in humanness, humankind returning to kindness and acknowledging our vulnerability and having an appreciation of all these differences. See, like the cool Aquarius I know, they they get their liberal friends or conservative friends together and they're not tripping about anything. They're just like, hey, you know what? We're all humans, and the human experience is one of both brilliance and accuracy, and it's also part of deception too. So we don't always know what's going on completely. We can get in a little group of safety. Aquarius is parties and groups, and so we're in our team, our group, and then we feel safe, and that's great to have that feeling. It's comforting. But at the same time, it doesn't make you right. It can make you actually be in a very dangerous place, as we saw during the damn panic when people were group bullying other people, which now the information's coming out. Well, a lot of those people had every reason not to go put some other person's DNA or aluminum or aborted fetuses or whatever else they had in that gene therapy thing. So, respect other people's caution. Not everyone's meant to get on a unicycle, it's just kind of like that. And you've got a lot of insights right now. Your intuition's up. I would say kind of lay low this weekend. Beginning of the week, you'll be all about it. You'll be moving forward. And Taurus and Aquarius, even though they're fixed signs squared each other, they actually kind of get along and appreciate each other. Let's see. Greetings, Pisces. Welcome to your horoscope as we wind this thing up. So we have Mercury's now out of Western Pisces into Aries, which is probably helpful in improving communication. It's in your 2nd house, so you're more likely to know about what you're talking about this week than you did last week. We do have, Neptune's presence there, and so Neptune can kind of blur and soften things, but it also is like sort of encourages you to maybe have a talisman. That could be your rosary bead, or Star of David you wear, or just something that reminds you of your spiritual life. It could be some beadwork someone did for you, or something really special. It's also just kind of like having godly knowledge, and sharing that kind of uplifting knowledge more is going to be super helpful. And you've got the creativity, and you've got the Venus and the practicality of Saturn. And now Taurus season is more like working on writing, journaling, friendships, siblings, those things, working with your hands. So all of that, it's going to enhance this artistic, creative world we live in. And thank you once again, everyone, for being here with me. I'd love it for you to subscribe, share this with a friend. Detail message me if you would like to get a personal reading from me. Like I said, I'm pretty reasonable, and I would love for you to be able to I'd love to be able to help facilitate your knowledge of astrology as a whole. I will give you a word of caution. Usually when I do readings for people, I use Jyotish mostly, what they do in India. So it's a little different than this. I do this mainly to get the kind of pop cultural knowledge people interested and percolated in what I do. And I love you and I care about you, and thanks for all your comments and messages. Hi John and Colleen, everyone else. Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat.